Welcome back everyone. As most of you know, the Samsung Galaxy S8 and the S8 Plus were some of the best-selling phones of 2017 when these devices came out, but we've talked a lot about the Galaxy S8, and in my opinion, one of my favorite Samsung phones and one of the most impactful phones of all time. But the S8 Plus was the better, bigger phone in so many different ways, and it's underrated because it was the more expensive one. Not that many people got their hands on it. So let's take a look at it in the middle of 2021. I've already talked about this phone early on this year, and not a lot has changed. It's been pretty much the same exact thing, to be honest. Still that same beautiful 6.2-inch Super AMOLED device. It's 1440p, there's no inbuilt fingerprint sensor, there's no 120 Hz, but it's still a very good screen for sure, and that's something that I just have to reiterate over and over again. Now, bezels on the side, on the top and bottom a little bit, the sides are pretty much good. On the bottom, USB Type-C port, headphone jack, and micro SD card slot. Those are, again, some huge priority items that we are missing nowadays. Obviously, the USB Type-C port's still there, but the other ports, the headphone jack is crazy, but the micro SD card slot, Samsung took away on their newer devices, and we still have them on this device, which is beautiful. Glass back feels great. Single camera setup, fingerprint sensor up there too, and for sure this is a beautiful phone. It still performs, and it's still pretty relevant. If you look at it, it still looks like a very, very good phone for sure. So on the back, single camera setup, 12 megapixel wide angle lens, you can do 4K at 30, and I think this camera is still pretty good. Of course, you can't do 4K at 60, no 8K obviously, and there's no multiple sensors, so you don't have an ultra wide or telephoto or anything like that, but you still have that wide angle lens, which I think, like I mentioned, is more of a pro than a not. It's a good camera. I wish it did have 4K at 60, but again, it's totally okay. Front camera, 8 megapixel wide angle lens. Then you have an additional 2 megapixel iris scanner, which is cool. I'm okay with it. It doesn't help with the photos, but again, 1440p camera on the front too. So in terms of the camera, I think it's overall pretty good in my opinion. Now, software-wise, this is by far the worst thing about this phone, especially in the middle of 2021. You have Android 7.0, which is started with. You are able to get Android 9.0 on it, but to be honest, that's really pretty much all you're getting. You're not really getting anything. You're not getting any custom ROMs. You're not getting any improvement there. And that's kind of a sad thing with this phone. You would expect it to get more software updates just the way it looks and how similar it was to the S9. That is not the case, and that is by far one of the worst things about this phone without a doubt. Battery life, the battery is one of the best things about this phone. 3500 mAh battery with wireless charging, another big massive improvement for it as well. So without a doubt, software pretty bad, but battery kind of made up for it here and there. Now finally, we do have, the performance segment of everything. You have that Qualcomm Snapdragon 835 chipset, an octa-core CPU, an Adreno 540 GPU, and two different models. The base model had 4 gigs of RAM, and the top tier model had 6 gigs of RAM. Now, like I mentioned, when you get a phone like this, of course at that time it was a flagship. Right now, it is not a flagship at all. Even like the base model Galaxy S21 has, 8 gigs of RAM, so this one had 6. And I can definitely tell you, in terms of a performance standpoint, this is a really decent performing phone at that time, but it's been limited because of the software. Because of the software on this phone, it's really not at a great standing point. And that's one of the worst advantages of picking up a Samsung, is that throughout time, when they first come out, they're one of the best performing phones of that year. But come 2-3 years later, those things are not even comparable to Pixels of that year in terms of performance. And has a lot to do with software. So in terms of that, I think the performance is okay, but it's definitely not better than an iPhone 10 that also came out that same year. So in terms of that covers it up there. To kind of sum up this video and to answer the question, should you still buy a Samsung Galaxy S8 Plus in the middle of 2021? Well, this is pretty much what I'll tell you. I think the Galaxy S8 Plus is still a great phone. It has a lot of capability, but again, it's just limited on the software that it had. And that is without a doubt one of the worst things probably about this phone. As most of you remember, when this phone first came out, Samsung was still doing the standard 2 years of software updates, and that was it. And that was, again, a very annoying thing. I was never a fan of that, and it does look like Samsung kind of switched out from that now, but that was one thing that plagued a lot of Samsung phones at that time. So in my opinion, I like this phone. I don't think people should buy it. I think the Galaxy S10 is the lowest phone people should purchase. The S10e as well, but these are the lowest phones people should purchase in my opinion. So that's pretty much it. You can pick them up from the links down below, and you can help support the channel at the same time. If you guys have any other questions or anything, let me know in the comment section as well. Hit the like button, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.